Hi, everyone. This is Marilyn Bradford, and I would like to welcome you to my Left Turn podcast. What is your left turn? Writing a blog, parenting in a different way, letting go of the old because you are aware of something greater. Left turns are choices we can all make. It's about a willingness to step into the unknown in any area of your life, to trust yourself, to risk creating or trying something new. It's about letting your true uniqueness shine. The greatest people who have lived, artists, statesmen, writers, explorers, musicians, have all been people willing to turn left. What capacities do you have that you have not acknowledged? What would your life and the world be like if you were willing to turn left? Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Left Turn Podcast. I'm Marilyn Bradford, and today I'm absolutely thrilled to have with me as a guest, Claudia Cano. Claudia has done so many things with her life, it's just amazing, but she's done the normal things, have a family and all that, but she's also a doctor. But she was also like, I think I'm going to add some other things in my life. So there's so many left turns that I don't even want to get into them from me right now. But currently, she's the master of everything at Lugar, which is this amazing property resort that Access Consciousness is building in Costa Rica. And I know that Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, is always, Claudia is always like 2 feet ahead of me. She knows what's going on and what to do before I do. So she's absolutely brilliant and lovely, lovely person. So Claudia, welcome.
Thank you, Marlene. I'm so happy to be here. And I love the left turns. I think they're the best turns.
Yes, I do. So if you could pick a couple of left turns in your life, what would they be? And they can be anything.
Well, I guess the first big one was when I stopped working as a doctor.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a really big one because everyone was expecting me to keep being a doctor and keep working on that. After all the years I had to study that career. So everyone expected that from me. And I was really happy with it until I wasn't.
Yes.
So even for me was like, oh, I'm not happy with this anymore. What else can I do? It's just like,
that's amazing. You just asked a question, which is something that left turn people do. They ask questions. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, this is not, I was really happy and then I wasn't. I'm like, this is not really working for me anymore. I wonder what else is there. So I took a time from medicine and then something else showed up. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I don't think I'm going to go back to medicine after this. But
so what showed up?
Well, I'm going to go in the woo-woo part of this.
This is fine.
Yes, I know. So I was taking like a sabbatic, like a rest from medicine. And I had a little kid. He was 3 at the time or 2, maybe almost 3. And I was like, okay, there should be more here. It's like, this is boring. All of it is like, my life was quote unquote perfect. It's like my husband was like giving me everything I desired. I could do whatever I wanted. I didn't need like to work to have money. It was like, everyone look at me like, you have the perfect life, It's like, you have the perfect husband. Your kid is lovely and adorable. You could do whatever you want. You have this career and it's like a hard career, like you're set in life. And I was like, this is boring for me. This is not really working for me. So I started asking what else was there. It's like, this is like, should be something else. Like everyone was telling me that almost like that was it. You
Yes.
got it. It's perfect. You don't need to do anything else in life. You go to the pinnacle of whatever everyone needs in life, like to have a
Yes.
perfect family and money and status, and like that's it.
Yeah.
And I was, this is very boring and I'm not happy with it. So I start asking what else
Mhm.
was there. It should be something more amazing out there.
Yes.
And I guess talking with a lot of people now, I guess we all know that there's something grander and bigger and more
Yes.
amazing for all of us in life.
Yes.
So I was just externalizing that for me. Like, I know there's something else. So what is it? So here comes the woo-woo part. I was doing my laundry at 2 in the morning because I don't sleep much.
Wow.
And from nowhere, I heard a voice that said, Claudia, it's time, wake up.
Wow.
I know, it's a woo-woo part. And me being a doctor, I didn't freak out. I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm schizophrenic, I'm going crazy. It just made total sense to me. It was like,
Mhm.
yeah, true. It's time to wake up. And then the next day I found like someone invited me to have a class at like a yoga, silent retreat, retirement, or whatever that is, like a something yoga. And for me, it didn't work at all. It was like, oh my God, this is horrible. But after that, I'm like, if this is waking up, it's a really good awakening.
Oh, that's funny.
If you have to wake up with really cold showers and sitting 2 hours in the same position, trying to not think about anything while you're thinking about absolutely everything that has nothing to do with you, and then you're not allowed to laugh, now that is not awakening for me. That is
Oh,
going into a nightmare.
yes.
So,
Torture.
yeah. And after that retreat, I found access consciousness, or as I say, access consciousness found me. So then I start using the tools, and my life totally changed.
What were some of the changes?
Well, first, I really acknowledged that medicine wasn't my goal, really. Like, I love bodies, and I still work with bodies, and I love them. But medicine per se is not what I really enjoy doing in life. So for me, it was just like, okay, I'm done with medicine, like the normal allopath.
Right.
And it was a super easy choice for me, but I was very judged from everyone else. Like, how could I do that after all those years studying this, and after having like my job set, and like everything in life ready for me, like everything was already there for me, and it was like a structure and everything. And then I'm like, oh no, this is not for me. I'm not happy with it. So I just choose not to keep going that way and take a left turn.
And did you do access classes or?
Yes, I started like the first access class I did. Well, when I found access, or access found me, the person I met was Gary Douglas' personal assistant.
Okay.
So and the minute I saw her, I saw this light in her eyes that I've never seen in anyone's eyes before. So it was like, I have no idea what are you doing, but whatever you're doing, tell me what is it, because I want it. So that's how I started. Yes, so she teaches a foundation on level 1, and there were no bars, it was included in that. So after that class, I'm like, I need I need more of this. I require all these tools. This is amazing. I want to meet the guy that is sharing this with the world. So after that, I took level 2. And that's when I met Gary in person, and we start talking. And I asked him if I could bring the tools, me and a friend could bring the tools to Latin America or spread like these amazing tools.
Cool.
And translated into Spanish. So that was like the big left turn where I'm like, okay, this is what I really desire now, to bring these amazing tools for people that are looking for something else and have no idea how to get it or how to change their lives, or that there's another possibility. It's like you don't have to stay wherever you are just because everyone thinks that your life is perfect now and you should be happy with it. It's like if you desire something else, then these tools can help you.
Yes.
And then you can really start acknowledging what it is for you that you really desire and what works for you and what makes you happy.
It's such a different thing, like a doctor fixing people, to choosing to empower people to choose for themselves. I mean, it's like almost like night and day.
Yes. Kind of. Yeah. Everyone was like, did you went crazy when you hear that voice? You just snap, and that's what happened to you. Even my doctor friends were like, what's going on with you? And like in chats or in whatever, I was just like, oh my God, how does it get any better? So they start like making jokes about me, like the little me is, how does it get any better? Like,
Wow.
yeah, well, how does it?
And how were you well received when you were taking these tools to Mexico and Central America and all of that? But you didn't stop.
No, I didn't. It was really interesting because at the beginning there was like a lot of people that were doing like yoga and all these alternative things and spiritual things. And they were like kind of receiving each, but not that much. It was like I would be talking about something, and when I turned my back, they were saying the total opposite. It's like, yeah, this is what it's right, and you should be doing this. I'm like, these tools are not about that. This is about choice and choose whatever works for you. It's not the answer. It's not the correct thing. It's like, it has nothing to do with that. It's more like you have to be willing to ask questions and see what works for you, not to follow someone and do what they're saying you should be doing. So it was interesting. And it took many, many years for people to actually hear what was this about, like consciousness about, not following someone and doing what someone says it should be done. It's more like, okay, what is it that you know, and what is it that you really desire to be and do in life?
You had a lot of persistence to not quit, not give up.
Oh yeah, no, Marilyn, it's a long, long story. Also, it's like, I'm from Latin America.
Yes.
I'm supposed to be a Mexican. So family and marriage and kids is the most important thing ever.
Yes.
So I start traveling the world and leaving my kid because I was traveling the world. So I was the worst mother ever. My family was like, you are insane. How could you be doing this to your kid? Someone's gonna steal your husband. You have everything. You have money. You have a status. You have a job. You don't need to work. Why are you doing this? Are you crazy? Do you want to destroy your family? Do you want to destroy your life? It's like, you're doing this very wrong. I was judged right, left, central, in between, up and down, and from every single angle.
But it didn't stop you.
No, it didn't, because I was happy.
Yeah.
And I knew I was getting happier by the minute. So I'm like, okay, I'm happy. I've never been this happy in my entire life. So
Wow.
why would I let anyone else's opinion make me be unhappy again?
Yes. Yes. That's amazing. To be judged that much and go, oh, well, I'm happy. I'm having what I know makes me happy.
Yeah, and sometimes I was like, I really start doubting myself. It's like, am I really doing this very wrong? And it's like I didn't have the support of anyone else. It's like no one was going like, yeah, go Claudia, like they try to make it harder for me, so I would stop.
Right.
It's like, I'm not gonna take care of your kid anymore because this is not right. So I'm like, okay, I have to find a way, But I always
Yes.
was just like, okay, I'll find another way. It's okay. I'll just keep moving. And sometimes I was like, should I just stop? It will be way easier. That
Yeah.
was my head telling me it will be way easier. It's like, I had a really nice life. It was okay. Why am
Yeah.
I bothering doing this? And
Yeah.
then I was like, no, I wasn't happy. It was okay, but I wasn't happy. Like, what is more important for me, to be happy or to be just okay for the world? I'm like, nope,
Wow.
I'll just keep going.
Well, I want to make sure we get to El Lugar. So, which is kind of a big jump, but you tell me how all of that came about for you and what you do there. And I get that it makes you happy.
Very. Well, after being the worldwide coordinator, the Hispanic worldwide coordinator in Access, I was traveling all in Latin America
Mhm.
and even in Japan and other places, facilitating the access tools. And I
Yes.
love that. And I was also coordinating like all the classes in Costa Rica.
Mhm.
So when we started having a chat with Gary about the places and how difficult it was to get a place that actually start working for us all the time, to be there and have the exclusivity, and the Lugar just came up. And Gary just went like, okay, you're on. That was it. It's like, we need a place. Yeah, you're on. That was it. So that's when it started ages ago. It was like slowly, like I started getting in it started building up. That's how it was. It
Mhm.
started building up. So I was still like doing my classes and traveling the world and creating a lugar. But then
But
when
you found it, didn't you? You
yes,
found the place.
a lugar found me, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because Gary was like, okay, you're on. So I had to start looking for the land and everything.
Mhm.
So yes, El Lugar found me, and that was like magic. And since then, it's such a big part of my life. El
Yes.
Lugar is like, and it makes me so happy. So when it started like getting more intense and we start like doing construction,
Mhm.
then it was more like, okay, what am I gonna choose?
Mhm.
Because I can't keep just traveling everywhere and just go there like once in a while or just do phone calls or whatever. It
Right.
require more of my presence there.
Yes.
So it was another big turn there, like, okay, what am I gonna do? And one of the things that was very interesting, because Gary was like, are you gonna manage it? Are you gonna manage it? And I never give him like a straight answer. I was just like la 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 la, and I was like doing everything and building it up, but I wasn't like really willing to commit to manage it.
Mhm.
Because in my head it was like, am I gonna be stuck again? It's like,
Uh,
it is gonna be like something I'm gonna have to be there 24/7 and not be able to do anything else, just that.
mhm.
So after a chat with him, he looked at me and he said, you're aware that you can still like travel and like do your classes, and it's like you don't have to be stuck there. It's like you could have some people to help you and you can go and come in and go and whatever. I'm like, oh, and then it was like, okay, yes, I'll manage it. So it was a big relief for me. But I was again going into my head. It's like,
Yes.
this is how it's supposed to be. If you
Yes.
are committed to a project, then it's like your life is devoted to it. It's like you don't have freedom to just say, I'm leaving now, bye. Like there's something more fun coming for me. I'll go away and I'll be back in 3 months. It's like you have to be committed to it. So yeah. And then I took again the turn. I'm like, okay, yes, I'll do this. And I still facilitated, but I'm happier at a Lugar right now. And it's very demanding. So I
I'm
just
sure, yes. I was lucky enough to visit a while back. And I can see it's huge. I mean, I can see that it would be very demanding to be the manager the master of everything at that project.
Yeah, it's but I love it. And what I love about that is that it has so much. It has architecture, it has design, it has farming, it has horses, cows, flowers, pots, plants, permits, numbers, and it has like everything. I love it. That's what I love it, because you're never bored. It has
Oh, I could see that. You would never be bored. There's so much going on.
so much on staff and kitchen and everything. It's amazing and it's so much fun. And if you ask me, did you ever saw yourself like being this or doing this? I will tell you, not in a billion years.
It's a totally different skill set and capacity than I think being a doctor would be.
Yes, and I also use my doctorness because there's people that get injured or animals that get
Yes.
injured and stuff. So I'm like, sometimes I use those resources too.
I've come to you at a class, I remember, and I can't remember what it was, but you were like, you do the body work too. I think you just put your hands on me, and after a while I was better.
Yeah, I love that.
Woo-woo stuff.
Yes.
So it just seems, I just get this energy of happiness, Claudia. It's really, really fun. Do you have anything else to say about left turns or El Lugar, or just where things are, where you're going?
Well, I'm not sure where I'm going anymore. I was really, really sure where I was going. What I always desire since I can remember is that the world is as amazing as it is, and people could actually acknowledge how amazing the planet is and living is and having a body. So that's something I've always known. And I guess all the left turns I've turned to are going in the same direction. I was going by the medicine pathway, and then I did a turn left, and but it's also heading that way into bodies are amazing and magical and wonderful and such a gift, and how could we take care of them and enjoy them and the planet as well. So I guess all the left turns I've turned are going the same direction, just not what people expect them to be.
Yes, that is just inspiring, Claudia. Thank you so, so much. I'm like tingling. It's really just lovely, lovely, and so much awareness and gratitude and thoughtfulness and all of that. So thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Left Turn podcast.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I love people that turn left and then go just like, whoa, I didn't expect that. It's awesome.
Yes.
Maybe it was just a shortcut.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining this episode of Left Turn. I wonder what embracing left turns could create in your life. What magical possibilities might show up. Remember, when you choose left turns, you are joining a group of the most creative and brilliant people the world has ever known.